And it says we're live. It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. It's a brand new year, and it's time for GotBot Goes live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe while you're at it. Loud of my baby. Nice thing to start the new year. Hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, and in the description down below, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. So new year, new start. I do not have anything to open tonight. I actually am having a show with no unboxing. It's not because there aren't things on the way. It's just nothing has come here. And right now we are in a certain state of being here in my province where everything is kind of like locked up tight again. It is what it is. So I have things that I'm waiting on, but I have not been going out and able to go to the hunt. So, if I see something cool, but it's not something that's in the realm of being able to do right now. But that's okay, because we do have things up and coming on the way. I'm going to let you know kind of what we're going to be doing next week. And of course, we're going to talk about all of this week's news. We're going to play some trivia. We're going to talk about some of the corporate shakeup at Hasbro and what that might mean for the future for Transformers and some of our other favorite brands. Looking at you, G.I. Joe, just saying. I am going to get things kind of set up here, so bear with me just a few moments. Hope you guys, by the way, are having a tremendous week. I hope the holidays were good to you. I hope that your New Year was good to you. I really, really do. We just did the fan voted. This past Monday, we did the fan-voted top 10 best of 2021. To be fair, there were a few votes that weren't counted because people said, for example, like a couple of people said, for example, Seed Shockwave. And I said, yeah, he's great and all, but that was 2019. This week, the voting that's going on now until midnight tomorrow night, Friday, the voting is for the worst of 2021, according to the fans. And then next week, there won't be any fan vote because the list the following Monday is going to be my personal best and worst of 2021. And then we'll kind of get back into some of our usual topics toward the latter part of the month. If you didn't check it out already, on Tuesday, we took a look at, unexpectedly, the Golden Disc set of Puffer and Road Ranger. Such a weird set. I mean, you got a GoBot, and then you got a character that was kind of released in weird colors as Pipes in G1, but the War for Cybertron version is a mix of Pipes and Huffer. And speaking of which, I'll do this now. A lot of times, man, I say that I'm cool with the Legends and I don't need to replace them with a deluxe, but Pipes is a case where in the Legends we had this in the Legends, and the mold is interesting and all, but like, this is not Pipes. Now, I did some custom paint work here, but let's be realistic. This was a stretch. This was a big stretch. What's interesting to me is the blue used here is pretty much the blue used here on Puffer. This is a case where, yeah, Puffer's bigger for sure. But I think that like this obviously looks more like Pipes. You know what I mean? And the actual Pipes is going to be a darker blue. The other thing I wanted to note here that some people said is they said Puffer shouldn't be a Pipes reuse. He should be a Huffer reuse. I agree. So if you wanted to do that, I mean, you could always, take that section out on the back, turn it around, and still collapse it in. And then it looks more like Huffer's like section up over the head. So you could do that, even though the head is still Pipes. I think the reason that the Pipes mold was used for Puffer in this case is twofold. I think one, they didn't want to have two repaints of Huffer in the same 2-pack. Two, I think that they wanted to get more use out of that hinge than just pipe. So they said, well, let's do puffer. And they explained this guy looking more like pipes than huffer by saying that, you know what? He's actually, the War for Cybertron version is actually like an amalgamation, if you will. I don't know what you call it, like I don't know, like, you know how Air Razor and Tigatron became Tigerhawk? Well, this version of Puffer apparently is Huffer and Pipes. I don't know. I'm just going to use them as Puffer and call it good. The other thing that I looked at yesterday, Wednesday, that I was really, really excited about was finally the custom Centurion pack. All of that is not the actual Centurion pack. It is a resin cast done by our buddy Dragonfly, who is still recovering. He's been sick, and he is recovering. So we wish him the absolute best. Him and his youngest, actually. We wish him the absolute best. He also had thrown in there a mace for Optimus Primal, as well as the gut gun for Cheetor. So I looked at all of those things. We also looked at, thanks to our buddy Justin, some 3D printed items. If you haven't checked that out, by all means, man, like, check it out. I'm just going to make sure that we... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Bring that down. Let's make sure of where we are here. And I know I haven't said anything to you guys yet, but I will. You might not notice. You might notice that Starscream wife is not here. She's actually putting in some overtime, so she may very well not be here tonight because she's actually, working at her job. Let's see here. Let's go to live chat. We're gonna take this right up. Hey, Logan. Yo, John. Happy to see you here, buddy. Hey, Timmy. Hey, Jay. Jay finally got his Blaster. I'm surprised it took Jay this long. That said, I'm really interested in Blaster because the Kingdom one is, or Legacy, whichever you want to call it, is, how can I put this? Okay, so that one is taller than the Soundwave by a little bit, but I feel like that one might be an actual Voyager, a full-fledged Voyager and whatnot. I'm wondering how it's going to compare to this one. This, of course, is my Fall of Cybertron Blaster. Now, to be fair, I painted this guy extensively. Many, many years ago, I painted this guy to look very much G1-ish. So, and I love this guy. He has wrist swivel. He has, great outward motion, nice deep elbow. With ratchets, and he has ratcheted knees. The paint has never scratched on him. Like, I love this guy. I really, really do. So I'm interested to see how the Kingdom one will compare to this guy. If I didn't do any of the custom work on him, I can tell you right now that the Kingdom one would be better. But with the custom work done, I think this is going to be a real interesting comparison when the time comes. To be fair, I know a lot of people have Blaster. I don't yet, and I have not watched any reviews because I don't want to be remotely colored in my opinions of him. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see there. Hey, Ultra Megatrons, thanks for being in the Super Chat, Super Fan, buddy. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know, but I think you know how much I appreciate you. Hey, Blue, if I didn't say that already. Hey, Razor Bear, been a while, man, since you've been able to come in here. Hey, Solid, Happy New Year's to everyone. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, too. Hey, Warren. Lee, happy you're here. Hey, Gabriel. What? Where is Combiner Predaking? You moved up or something. Good eye, Gabriel. Okay, so he's still here. I actually put up 3 more shelves near the ceiling over on this wall to this side. So I've moved a lot of what was on the shelves here up there. In here, sort of spaced out a bit more. I'm probably going to get just a couple more over there. So you're probably going to notice some changes here again. Predaking, that was right here on this shelf behind me, is now a little bit further over here, kind of just off screen. But don't worry, he's still there. As a matter of fact, in one of the shelf sections, it's him and God Ginrai, and that's who I have in that shelf. And pretty much fills up that shelf, right? Two big boys. But good eye, Gabriel. Hi, everyone. I've got bad news in followers. Oh yeah, Blue's Instagram account got hacked. It was pretty rough. He sent me a message, but it did, unfortunately sometimes that happens, man. Who do you think about what do you think about Netflix dropping 4 Transformer series? I mean, it's unfortunate. It really is. I get a kick out of Rescue Bots. I get a kick out. I haven't really seen much of Rescue Bots Academy, but I get a kick out of Rescue Bots. Prime, I don't think should ever be dropped. I really don't. I don't know if it's being dropped in Canada or if it's already been dropped in Canada. If it's going to be dropped, here's what I would say. Go out, buy the complete box set because the series are so good, and it's fun to go back now all these years later and kind of watch them again, with a new eye. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, I sort of understand it because they do have their own series, being the War for Cybertron trilogy, whether you like that or not. And I've heard that there's going to be more Transformers series fiction coming to Netflix. I don't know what the nature of that will be. I don't know how much truth is to it, but the rumblings that I've heard from a couple of sources say probably a couple of years away, but it looks like things could go that way. Can things change? Obviously. I mean, just look at Cobra Kai, right? Cobra Kai started out as like a YouTube exclusive series, and then it switched over to Netflix. So in the span of a couple of years, a lot of things could change. By the way, it's a great series if you haven't watched it. I'm watching season 4 now. But what do I think about them dropping it? I get why they're doing it, but I think it's unfortunate, obviously, when that sort of thing happens. If they can fill it up with more of like their own original content, cool. If we can get more Transformers fiction to replace it, neat. But, if you're dropping Rescue Bots, give us something kind of equivalent in quality to Rescue Bots. If you're dropping Prime, give us something equality or equivalent in quality to Prime. That's kind of my take on it. It's unfortunate, but I understand it from a business standpoint, especially if they had to pay royalties for it. Especially if those royalties are gone up in prices, like they've been jacking up the prices of all of the figures as of late. Case in point, I've often talked about. How I don't understand why people defend the Hot Rod as a Voyager. We all know the whole story there, and I'm not going to belabor it. And here, that meant it sold for $39.99. And those who justified it simply told Hasbro the message of, hey, you can sell a deluxe for $40. We're cool with that. And slowly but surely, we're seeing that price go up. Before too long, that's what it's going to be. And when people say, this is outrageous, it's only for them to come back and say, it's not that outrageous. You bought the Hot Rod for it. The president was set, So like, I wish people hadn't supported it thinking about the long term, because I can't speak for other places in the world. I can only speak for here, but I've had 3 people just this past week. And you know what? That's a lie. Not even just from here, because 2 of them are from the UK, to be honest with you. I've had 3 people just this week say that they're getting at the game. They have a few things to pick up with Kingdom ending, and they're not going in on Legacy. To me, that's concerning. And I asked them, I said, why not? And they said, well, for what I'm seeing and for the price they're asking, it's not worth it to me. And I'm like, well, I understand where you're coming from. There's a couple of things I want from Legacy, but I'm not in for the whole thing either. If you are to a point where either the price or the creativity or both are pushing you out of something that you love, I think that's something, man, you got to look a little deeper into as a corporation, which we're going to talk about a little bit later when we talk about the corporate shakeup. But there's a trend there that I don't think has reached the U.S. yet. But I would say keep an eye out to what's going on in the rest of the world, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's what goes on in the rest of the world usually reaches the U.S. about 2 years later. So it's worth noting, is all I'm going to say. Let's see. Hey, Quilla. As I go down here, what Beast Wars figures do I have? Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so for the Predacons, I've reviewed everything I have for the record. For the Predacons, I have Megatron, the original, and Kingdom. I have 10th Anniversary Tarantulas. That's the Tarantulas I wanted. I have Inferno, who I custom painted a fair bit on. I have Animated in Kingdom Black Arachnia. I have the original, highly customized Scorponok. Really a lot of work done there. Big shout out to Bacon from T-Formers. He helped me out with that, especially with one of the claws. And I have the Kingdom Scorponok, who now has some add-on parts on him. Check out Wednesday's video to see that. Who else do I have from the Predacons? I have Thrilling 30 Waspinator. To me, that's the best Waspinator. As I look up there, who else do I see? I have that Worlds Collide Black Arachnia. I have the original Pterosaur. I have the Golden Disc Pterosaur on order. The original Pterosaur I did a ton of custom paint on. Who else? Rampage. Rampage I found for $3 at a thrift store. So I'm pretty happy about that. I might have some more, but that's the bulk of my Predacons, I think. I have the Transart Agent Ravage, whatever, the like Beast Wars version of Ravage that's by Transart. I have Transmutate, the Select Transmutate. For the Maximals, I have the original Primal, the Kingdom, actually the Netflix Primal, and the Power of the Primes Optimal Optimus. I have the classics and the Kingdom Dinobot. I have the original, highly customized, and Kingdom Cheetor. Original, highly customized Kingdom Tigatron. I have the Generations Rat Trap, and I have the Netflix Rat Trap. Who else do I have Depth Charge again, found for $3 while thrifting. I was really lucky. I'm not sure who else I have. Oh, I have Air Razor. I had a KO of Air Razor. I have a KO of Lio Convoy, or sorry, Lio Jr. I mean, that might be about it. Maybe. Oh, and I have Thrilling 30 Rhinox and Kingdom Rhinox. There's probably more, but that's the ones off the top of my head. I hope that answered your question. The puffer set is awesome. I dig all four. I like the puffer set. Like I wasn't going to get it, but when Cardboard Bots had it local here and I could go and pick it up right away and didn't have to wait for it, like how could I say no? Honestly, how could I say no? So I went, I got it immediately. And I like it. And I'm okay with having a GoBot. I'd be okay with more GoBots. I'm not going to lie, though. I wish Road Ranger looked like the GoBot Road Ranger. But I do like the black and orange mix. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Big thank you to Warren, who just became a Voyager class member. Huge thank you there. I do have some content up there. Of course, I have the victory vlog up there. And I do have some things up and coming, of course, with the new year upon us. Let's see. Dig all fours. We're going down here. Did you get Starscream wife the... Yeah, I do have the ring. Actually, she said the best thing to do, and I agree, is for me to use the ringtone for when she calls or texts or some such thing. So yes, I do have it. Nope, Logan, can't say as I do, but I pretty much don't leave the house right now. My friend got the rust. I hope she gets better soon. That's rough, man. Hey, Input. BS Prime. That's me. Yes, sir. That most definitely is you, Cardboard Bots. And thank you for coming in here, my man. Let's see. Wish Xbox would develop a Transformers video game. They might. I'm starting to get sick of Hasbro price hikes. Oh, starting? Like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit. Third quality now has better quality. That says a lot. I'm not 100% on Legacy, more 50-50. I'm less than 50-50. I counted up everything we've learned about Legacy so far, and there's at most 9 that I have any interest in. And I don't think I'm getting all 9 of those. The UK on Amazon Earthrise Cliff Jumper was 60 pounds. That's crazy. That seems like a lot for Cliff, man. Once Victory Saber arrives, I'm out. See, Fearsome just said once Victory Saber arrives, he's out. And that's the message I'm hearing more. That's concerning to me. Someone said it's Hot Rod's fault deluxes are Voyager. I disagree. That's extra accessories in packaging gives the price tag I disagree with what? Someone said, I got to see if I can pick this out. Hold on. Someone said, it's Hot Rod's fault deluxes are Voyager. I disagree. That's extra accessories in package gives big price tag. I disagree with that. The accessories, even with the accessories, here's what people don't get. When I talk about 77 grams for Hot Rod, that's including every single accessory. That is including the blast effect. That's including the matrix. That's including the 2 blasters and the saw. You take those out, he's less than 77 grams. He's probably more like 72, 73, like Refractor. He was 72. Or like Huffer, who's 73. It's like, it's a deluxe. You can say what you like, but that Hot Rod's a deluxe. Here's what I would argue. I would say that Voyager, like the benchmark should be Cyclonus. That should be the benchmark of what every Voyager aspires to be. The benchmark of, arguably, what every deluxe should aspire to be could be Hot Rod. If you love Hot Rod, then cool. I would say that should be the benchmark of what a deluxe should be. We're going to talk about Hot Rod a little bit later because we're going to be talking about the last of the 4 stop motions that our buddy Joe wrote with Flint Dilley that was shown before the film. And I do have some interesting thoughts because the one we're going to talk about there is the like the Matrix, the dropping the Matrix one. Hey, Lance, Mr. Rivas is there. Let's see. Grimlock. Oh, by the way, hi, Grimlock on, if I didn't say it, buddy. I like the previous Transformers games on PS3 and 4. Yeah, if they were smart, they would find the people that did the High Moon games and get them to do more of that, you know? Let's see. As we go down here. There was a Cybertron 1, 2. Hey, Nate. Got the BBM Soundwave. Oh, from Studio Series. And while he's wearing a robot is so, yeah, I agree, Nate. The robot is gorgeous for that thing. The outload's a bit weird, but the money is definitely meant in the robot for that thing for sure. I have all Kingdom except Slammer. Again, my Slammer is on order, right? I'm waiting on Blaster and Pipes. Timmy says Slammer was delivered today. Congratulations, man. Voyager, it began with Siege Shockwave. Yeah, you're right. It did begin with Siege. Voyagers posing as other things, or I can't even say Voyagers posing as other things, but lower size classes posing as bigger size classes started with Siege Shockwave for sure. I got my pipes yesterday. Nice. FOC is awesome. I agree. I just got Kingdom Optimus plus my Kingdom Warpath and Wheeljack. All three of those, Logan, I like, honestly. As we go down here a little bit. And I'm sorry, guys, for skipping stuff here. My chat seems to be acting a little wonky, so I apologize. Paid $35 for Jackpot and $65 for Puff from Road Rage. That seems about in the ballpark, honestly. I mean, it is what it is, at least in Canadian dollars. I've been saying that they should remaster the WFC FOC games for a while. I agree. Hey, Big M. Big M, I feel like the last time we talked, buddy, somebody in your family was having surgery. I hope that they're doing okay. Slammer Pipes, SG Jetfire. Oh, man, I want my SG Jetfire. I'm not going to lie. Love the paint on Soundwave. Thank you, buddy. That was, I'm not going to lie, the paint on that itty bitty Centurion Pack Soundwave was brutal to do. And I had a little tiny Decepticon logo that was put on with it was so hard. Talk about PPR putting on all of his toy hacks. I don't like putting on stickers. I get no joy out of it at all, but I did want a Decepticon logo on the chest, so I had a little tiny circular Decepticon logo that I took off with tweezers, and I actually applied with a toothpick. It was a bit of a bear to do, I'm not going to lie. Kingdom Rodimus, got to say, he took me by surprise. He is awesome. Can you show me where you... I don't know. Not really. I can't actually show you where he is because he's kind of behind the closet door right now, and the closet is open, and I'm not turning my computer to see that, but he's... Okay, so you can see where Unicron is here, and there's a shelf down below it here. He's in the shelf literally next over right here. You probably can't see it, but he's in the shelf over right there next to it. Blaster's officially my favorite of the line. You say that every time, Jay. I don't mind you. Wife's doing great. I'm glad to hear it, buddy. Fans Toys Pipes looks awesome. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, too, because I'm going to fly down through some of the news here because I've been talking to you guys a lot, right? Has anyone seen the M Deluxe 3.0 Bumblebee? Gorgeous, Nate. Absolutely beautiful. Very posable. Doesn't transform, but it's really, really beautiful. Really beautiful. Very high end. Did you see Rodimus Primal's custom barricade? It looks awesome. I did not. Okay, so we're going to get into the news. I think I'm kind of caught up. Let's get into the news. First things first, Ian James Corlett, which we know better as Cheetor, who was a part of this past Christmas's message with our favorite Optimus Primal, that being Gary Chalk. He is actually going to be at TFCon LA in March. So those of you going to TFCon LA, Cheetor will be there. What else do we have? Newage showed off their latest rendition of Lucifer. Newage has used that mold a lot. And I mean a lot. Of course, this is a Starscream repaint in his animated colors. Looks really brilliant. Painted very, very nicely, to be sure. He comes with a number of things, a smirking face, a number of hands. He comes with Megatron in his pistol mode. He comes with a number of blast effects and a stand. So there's a lot with that New Age offering. Yeah, the price tag's kind of high, but man, you get a ton of extra with it. So I kind of understand it a little bit. Plus, that's a 3P company, so they don't have the same sort of resources and factory space as something like a Hasbro does, for example. What else do we have here? Canada apparently saw the release of the Beast Wars Tigertron reissue. Slammer and Pipes was released at GameStop, formerly EB Games. Again, I don't know if they've come here. I think Danny saw them on the west coast of Canada. If I'm not mistaken, I know they've been seen in Ontario. Again, here, I'm not going out right now doing hunts, so I have not seen them. I don't know if they've made it here or not. And interestingly, GameStops in Canada had Shattered Glass Starscream and Shattered Glass Megatron show up. Weird. The only Shattered Glass ones that showed up there, but weird. I don't know why that would be, but it happened, so it was a thing. Again, I'm not going out right now doing hunts, so plus my Shattered Glass Megatron is here. I guess we'll see whenever I get the Jetfire and the Starscream. I think my plan, by the way, is to call the Shattered Glass Jetfire and to call the regular Jetfire Skyfire. I think I'm actually going to use the two different names, just because I find that interesting. So it's neat that Canada at certain places are getting some of this stuff. It's just I'm not getting some of this stuff. Here's an interesting one. Virtual Running Club, in conjunction with Transformers, has set up the Rise Up if you choose Decepticons or Roll Out if you choose Autobots challenge. And it's basically a bunch of running challenges where you have a step counter and stuff, right? So your challenge is to run 300 miles. Okay, I guess do it by, I don't know when, middle of the summer. I don't know how long it takes to run 300 miles. I feel like it would take a long time though. So there's a challenge, for example. There's a lot of merch that they're selling that is Transformers inspired. If you're in for a bunch of weird Transformers merch from a running company, go for it. If you'd like to run or even walk, it never hurts for any of us to get more physically active. If we can bring Transformers into being more physically fit and physically active, why not? It's definitely a weird partnership, but I don't think it's a bad partnership. Transformers are great. Exercise is great. Seems like a win-win. It's just a peculiar one that you probably wouldn't think would work together. I kind of like I'm always a good guy. I'm always an Autobot. Starscream Wife is always a Decepticon, but I gotta say, I do think it's kind of a cool that the Decepticon challenge is called the Rise Up Challenge. Nice little nod there to animated. Chinese, or I can't say Chinese New Year in China, had a concert that was done on a social media platform called Bilibili, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced. And part of this concert had Transformers content where the G1 song was performed, for example. And then we had a cosplay of Bumblebee. And then we had the performance on piano, which was actually quite beautiful. And I think it was accompanied by an orchestra of the Transformers Prime theme. And they did a beautiful, really beautiful job. Then we had more cosplay of what seemed like Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime. And then we had what looked to be maybe Revenge of the Fallen Megatron come out. And that's kind of where it ended. It was such a weird mix. We had the G1 theme, we had the Prime theme, and then we had cosplay from the movies. It was so weird, but it was so neat to see. It only lasted about 5 minutes, but it was actually really, really nice to see. Speaking of interesting pieces of media coming out of China, there was also a performance of the G1 song, intro song, theme song, performed with traditional Chinese instruments, many of which are very, very like different and unique and a beautiful sound together. A lot of strings, and some drums, but a lot of strings. And each of the performers was accompanied by like a kingdom character. So like Rhinox was spotted there, RC was spotted there, and so on and so forth. Worth the listen. Honestly, it's only a couple minutes long, but both of those videos posted around on a lot of social media. Both of them worth the view, worth the listen. It'll take up a grand total of maybe 7 minutes of your time. They're pretty cool. Not going to lie, they're pretty cool. Nice job was done by all. Let's see. Prime theme, the Prime theme, by the way, the Transformers Prime theme, I think was the highlight of the full thing because I think it was done the most true to fashion, and I like that. Fans Toys, not Fans Toys, Fans Hobby showed off their Overlord, Overload and Tidal Wave. Wow, did I mess that up? So they showed off their Overload with their Armada Optimus, and yes, apparently the Overload will be able to combine. So that thing's going to be huge. The Optimus by itself is pretty cool. The Optimus with its trailer is, I've been saying for a long time, if you're an Armada fan, do yourself a favor and get the Fans Hobby version. Now you're going to have Overload be able to go on with it. It's going to be a ways away yet because we saw a really early test shot. Same thing with Tidal Wave, and word is he'll be able to come apart and combine with their Megatron, which again I think looks glorious. Some people might complain and say the Tidal Wave is not as big as he should be. I think the Tidal Wave is exactly the size that he should be, to be honest with you, and I'm really happy to see both. Again, Fans Hobby staying in their lane, doing a beautiful job, and really I think knocking it out of the ballpark. I look forward to seeing more of that. I'm not even a Unicron trilogy guy, but I look forward to seeing more of what they kind of put together there. What else do we have here? We had a listing for Rescue Bot's classic heroes, Grimlock and Optimus Primal. I have no idea how Rescue Heroes incorporates Grimlock or Optimus Primal. I don't know much about what this classic heroes line will be. I assume it's going to be simplified. I assume it's going to be for a very young audience. Do I know? No. I honestly don't. Very, very, very weird. What else do we have? The Matrix being dropped stop motion. It's a 55-second stop motion written by Joe Troutman and Flint Dilley. And again, very intimately connected to it are a number of voice actors. This one was directed and somewhat narrated by John Machida. Of course, we all know him as Blur. The voice of two things I wanted to note here. First, I think the stop motion that was done really very, very well. Really, very, very well. It was something special. Again, it's been done in Hong Kong. Very professional. But here's the couple of things I noticed. First, the voice of Galvatron was done by Travis Ryan, who is a fan. So it was nice that he would get involved. But I felt like it was very gruff, I suppose. And as I heard the voice of Galvatron, I thought to myself, I feel like this would be a better fit for Grimlock. Now, I also know Greg Berger's involved in these stop motions. So if there was going to be a Grimlock, let's be honest, who should voice Grimlock, right? But it was definitely a gruff Galvatron. But in the same vein, I think it was interesting because at that point it should still be a gruff Galvatron because it's in the '86 film. I'm sure it's him doing his version of a Leonard Nimoy voice because Galvatron hadn't had his lava bath and stuff at that point, right? But here's what really interested me about it. Really good stop motion done there, but go back and watch it. Like I said, it's only 55 seconds, and you can see, and I talked about this before, the limitations of the shoulder movement of Hot Rod. His arms never go out to the side very far. Why? Because they can't. That's why. There are shoulder limitations on that mold that everybody oohs and ahs over. There's serious shoulder limitations if you're a stop motion animator to have to try and work around. There's a lot of out this far. There's a lot of arms going up, and there's a lot of the elbows moving around, but it's pretty limited. And that really stood out to me because some of the movements done by, a company that does this professionally. It's not like me doing it or some chump doing it in their house. This is a professional company doing it. And I looked at it and I thought, I could see the limits. I could see the imperfections, It wasn't my favorite of these because I expected it to be limited because of the mold used. Written well, performed well, a nice background, and they did a really admirable job considering how limited that Hot Rod is. But and I was glad when I saw Galvatron come in because I'm like, at least whatever they do with him for movement is a little more dynamic because he is a little more dynamic. Now, we do have one, if not two, more that were not shown in theaters that I will talk about. They've gone up. One is about Cup being an old man. We will review that another time. So far, these were short. I think that they're fun and funny. I think this one was, of course, was written well. It was a nice little kind of spoof getting ready to film that part of the film, and Hot Rod drops the Matrix, and the Matrix busts, and they have to get another one. And so it was honestly, it was a quick little laugh, right? It was a quick little laugh. It is what it is. Let's do the Rise of the Beast, and then I'm going to check in with you guys a little bit here. So Rise of the Beast, we had a number of listings. I'm just going to make a couple of quick notes here about a couple of things that came up. First, Power Alliance, they're going to be 2-packs, about 5 inches, and apparently these are going to be like a weaponizer type of thing. There's going to be 6 per case. They're going to be $15 US. I'm not really sure how this works. Are they like 2 weaponizer legends type of things? I'm not sure what the Power Lines thing is. I smell a gimmick. Power Battlers, like these are 3-inch. There's 8 per case. They're like $6 US, so probably like $9 or $10 Canadian. This might be the same thing as the Beast Battle Master. So I guess these will be some sort of like little Battle Masters. We know what the Battle Masters are by now. What else? Power Combiners. Sorry if you heard that. I hit the mic there. Power Combiners. These are going to be 5-inch. I'm not sure if these are limbs or if the whole combiner is only 5 inches or what. Apparently, these are going to be 4 per case. These are going to be sold as 2-packs, and they're going to be $20 US. Again, I smell a little simplified gimmick thing. I'm smelling Crash Combiners. That's what I'm sniffing here. Now, what is interesting, however, is that we had a number of deluxes. We've had a lot of, how can I put this? We've had a lot of like code names. Well, here are what the actual deluxes are that have been confirmed. Bumblebee. Big shock that we're having a Bumblebee in a movie line. Wheeljack. I'm curious how this Wheeljack will be different or the same as the Bumblebee Wheeljack that we're getting in the Studio Series line. Really, really curious about what the Rise of the Beast Wheeljack will be like. Mirage, who I assume we're all going to say looks a lot like Jazz. Maybe I'm wrong. Air Razor. I'm very curious to see what the movie Air Razor will look like, especially next to the Kingdom Air Razor, who I think is absolutely gorgeous. Really, really, really beautiful. And Nightbird. I need to see the robot. We've seen the car. I need to see the robot. I'm a little out on her being, I don't know. I'm a little out on her being an actual Transformer because she wasn't an actual Transformer. I'm going to give you guys now, because there was no pickups, I'm going to give you guys the trivia That way I can check in with you guys while you're giving the answer to the trivia, and then we'll kind of do the end of the news and get out of here. So, for the trivia, in Dark Awakening, I feel like we get a lot of trivia from Dark Awakening. In Dark Awakening, when Hot Rod's crew arrives at Cybertron, it's pretty much barren. In fact, there are only 2 left there. What 2 are left on Cybertron when Hot Rod's crew get there? Is it A, Blur and Cup? Is it B, Wheeljack and Daniel? Wheelie and Daniel. Is it C, Ultra Magnus and RC? Or is it D, Snarl and Sludge? So is it Blur and Cup? Is it Wheelie and Daniel? Is it Magnus and RC? Or is it Snarl and Sludge? I'm going to go up and see what you guys were saying here. Let's go up here a bit. See what people were saying. And again, if I skip something, I apologize. Did anyone? Did I see no? We were down here. I'm serious. I'm serious about how he feels. But you said the same thing. Look, Jay, you said the same thing about Tigatron, right? I'm just saying. He feels like he should be Studio Series 86. And I can't say anything. I know nothing about the blaster, so I guess I have to wait and see. Got my customized same as hubcap. Really looking to get the Bumblebee and Optimus in hopes they give us some Decepticons. Love the aesthetic 3-0 designers went with. Yeah, it's a very interesting, stylized aesthetic, but they put so much love and detail into it, Nate, that I can't argue it with you. It's really, really beautiful. It's more art than anything else, right? Gary Chalk, the only voice that should ever be allowed to do Primal. I agree. I mean, what Cullen is to Optimus Prime, as far as I'm concerned, Gary Chalk is to Optimus Primal. That's just me. I live in LA, but I won't go. But the NA mold is really nice. I have held off for only 2 and the cone heads. Oh, yeah, the New Age mold. Yeah, the New Age mold is beautiful. No doubt about it. Can you predict in this new trilogy we have new Combiner Predaking? First, there isn't a trilogy. Legacy is its own thing. It's not a trilogy. Secondly, we had a Titan class Predaking in 2018. Don't hold your breath for a new Predaking anytime soon. I wouldn't. I don't see it happening. Shatterglass Screamer. I know you should have Puffer, or Puffa, as I like to call him. I plan to use him as a Starseeker member. I don't know what Starseeker is, so okay, you do you. I bet you that's a comic thing, which I know zero about. I'm going to know zero about. I don't like the comics. I saw Shatterglass Goldbug and Megatron at U du jour today. Okay. Anyone know why we didn't get any combiners in the Warp Cybertron trilogy toys? Because we just got them within the last 5 years. In fact, they just finished like in the last year with the Seacons. That's why we didn't get more. I don't know why people are asking for combiners. Like, we just finished combiners. Like, I'm expressly not getting the Menasor because the Menasor I have, whether he's good or not, is about 5 years old. Like, why am I? No, I'm not redoing it. If you want to, cool, but I'm not redoing it. Transformers running thing isn't the what? Well, the Transformers ruining thing, no. Oh, running thing isn't the first, as Pokemon and a few others have. If you say so, I don't know anything about Pokemon. 2 Transformers YouTubers I know, one personally, will be coming, and I have a list toy store after the con. But as I said, I won't go. Well, you got to do you. Blue is all I can say. Are we really going to have a restart with Stunticons? I'm not having a restart with Stunticons. I'm not getting them. I'm not interested. Found Starscream wife. Rival for Starscream being what? Luna Club, who's a big time Starscream fangirl. Oh, okay. If you say so. Generation Selects Galvatron came in yesterday as well. I love the guy. I'm not a fan of that scheme, but if you are cool, the mold is tremendous. So enjoy. I can't say don't get it because the Galvatron mold is so good, right? G1 Season 1, first 3 episodes, 0 combiners, Minosaur cameo, slow down the episode and see the arcs screens. Fun fact, Tidal Wave, Cybertron mode, and his name in Japan is called Shockwave. Yeah, I knew that. As we go down here. Hey, Chauncey. Unnecessary fun fact, I've seen the Game Grumps do an impression of Beast Wars Megatron and a shockingly good Waspinator. I don't even know what I read there, Caldeo. I'm not going to lie. I literally couldn't understand what you were saying. Happy New Year, Chauncey. I understood that. What did you miss? You missed a lot. You missed everything. You're going to have to go back and start right from the beginning. I don't know when you stepped away, Grimlock. God, I have no idea, buddy, when you stepped away. My Dracula's arrived. Hey, Slim, my Dracula's arrived right before you started the stream. Enjoy. Look, like, I didn't get the Dracula's because here it's $75, and I don't understand that pricing. But that being said, I'm the one guy who actually really liked the Mind Wipe mold, so I assume the Dracula's use of it is pretty great too. So enjoy. D, D, C, D. F combiners. The answer, yes, is D. It is Snarl and Sludge, ladies and gentlemen. And basically, when Hot Rod arrived and said, hey, where is everyone? Snarl and Sludge basically said that Optimus Prime took everybody aboard the Ark to go after the Quintessons. We all know it was a trap by now because, of course, it was Dark Awakening. And maybe Hot Rod shouldn't have given the Matrix to Optimus. That was a bit of a bonehead move when he was pretty much a zombie. Let's go on with some of the news here and get it out of the way. Studio Series Spike. So, again, going down here. So, when I first saw the upcoming Studio Series Spike, I thought it was, as did many people, just a reuse of this. This, of course, is the MP version that came with MPB. This is only like there's a lot of limitations to this. This is not masterpiece. This is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Actually, his headpiece thing is actually even off. I'm gonna have to find that. But I'm definitely gonna get the new one because one of these will be Spike and one of these will be Daniel because this atrocious thing is an embarrassment that shouldn't exist. This is an ugly abomination that can't even straighten out its legs. So this is going to go in the garbage. And this is going to be either Spike or Daniel. And the Studio Series 1 is going to be either Spike or Daniel. So there you go. I'm in for it for that, if nothing else. Here's the interesting thing. I think the Studio Series 1 is going to be better than that. I think it's going to be more articulated than that. And I think it's going to have a more interesting transformation than that, which says a lot about Masterpiece, if you ask me. Fans Toys showed off a grayscale of their pipes. Looks beautiful, and a colored version of their Outback. And here's what really, really, really interested me. In vehicle mode, their pipes and hover look the same, but the robots really don't, with everything kind of remolded. Same with the Brawn and Outback. In vehicle mode, they look pretty much identical, but in robot mode, there's enough remolding and stuff done that, man, they look completely different. I like that it seems like they're probably keeping similar, if not the same, skeletons, but doing enough reworking to make each one seem really, really, really unique. Got Dracula's for $40. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. Your Mind Wipe is cracking? Cracking where? That doesn't sound like fun. So yeah, I'm not a Fans Toys guy, but if you are, honestly, I think the Huffer, the pipes, the Outback, and the Brawn, they all look good. How well they function, I don't know. I mean, they're not for me. I'm not an MP guy. But all of them look tremendous. I'll give credit where credit is due. Let's see. TFCon is going to be in Chicago in October. I remember when TFCon was a Toronto thing, and it was like Canada's Con, and that was it. And now I feel like every couple of months there's a TFCon somewhere. Like, it's not special anymore. I don't care anymore. It's not what it was. Like, it used to be that BotCon showed off all the new stuff and TFCon showed off all the third-party stuff. You can't. How many panels can you have at all of these? Like, just, you just have what? One in Virginia, I think, or Baltimore or something. Or was there one in Virginia and maybe there was just one in Baltimore? I don't know. And now there's the one in LA. And then in the summer, there'll be the one in Toronto, which is the original. And then there's going to be another one in Chicago in October. I don't know. It's too much, man. Too much. Bless them for growing. Bless them for getting the support. Waiting for Chicago. But like, I'll never ever get to one. So like I hear them all. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care because they're not going to have one here and I'm not traveling. Newage showed off another variant. To talk about a variant on Lucifer being the cartoon accurate Starscream, which looks gorgeous. They also showed off 2 variants of their Optimus mold, which honestly I'm a bit iffy on. I don't like the faux chest when you can obviously tell that the truck chest is behind it. Like, it's not the best design in my estimation, but they do have a dead prime or a sleepy prime or sleep mode prime, whatever you want to call it. And a toy accurate version with a new head that has the yellow eyes, looks very toyish. Even on the forearms, it looks like the sticker detail. I'm a cartoon guy, like cartoon is king. I got a shirt that's it says cartoon is king. Check it out. It's on Teespring. But input would say that toy's king, not me. But I don't know. If you want it cool, I guess. It's very accurate to the toy thing, I suppose. It also comes with an alternate face. The toy accurate version of that Optimus Prime also comes with a new face for their Megatron that gives it a toy accurate face. So if you're a toy guy, Newage got you covered, I guess. That's the best thing I can say there. The Megatron face that they include, it looks very much like the toy rather than the animation. We also had the next MPG showed off this week with Getsuei. And he's basically like this electric train. There's like electrical rods or something like on the top of it. We've seen it in all modes. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this one is done better than the other offering that we've seen from Takara. I feel like this one is cleaner. This one reminds me a little bit more of Moon Studio, and I think the leg looks pretty darn clean. I don't know. We'll have to see the rest of it, but I think that this release is stronger than the first one that Takara showed. What else do we have here? Get that out of the way. Unruly is a company that showed off, I don't even know what to call it. It's almost like a graffiti prime, where he's like getting ready to tag. It's graffiti, right? And like, it's such a weird thing. I think it's a statue and he has this blaster. It looks nice. He's holding like a paint roller that has paint on it. And then on his shoulder and on his arm, there's paint as if like his truck mode's been tagged. It's weird. I don't get it. It looks beautiful. It's definitely a piece of art. I don't know. It's not for me and I don't understand it, but I like it, if that makes sense. Like, I think it looks really cool, if that makes sense. And I think it's well done and well painted, but I don't know really what I would do with it. Authentics showed off more stuff. I don't know why. It's junk. It's a garbage. Authentics is so bad. A Bumblebee and Optimus mask. They look pretty cheap. There are better Bumblebee and Optimus masks out there. Don't get the Authentics ones. They're not good. Then they also showed off their Cyber Battlers. Really, really limited articulation. Do you remember a couple of years ago? I think Walmart had it, and there were like these, I'll call them like rubber figures, basically. That probably had like 2 or 3 points of articulation. And like there was a G1 Starscream and a G1 Optimus, and there was like a Transformers Prime Bumblebee and like a Transformers Prime Shockwave and stuff. And they didn't have a lot of paint on them. These are a lot like that. And it seems like it's Bumblebee, Megatron, and Optimus. Again, I don't understand why they exist. I wouldn't get them. They also don't transform. Limited articulation, don't transform. I don't get it. And then they also have these like little racers where it looks like the character is kind of like in the vehicle, I guess. Optimus with a really weird looking face to me. Bumblebee, of course. Who else was there? I think Trailbreaker might have been one. I think another one might have been RC. even though the face didn't look like RC, but it's a pink car, so I don't know what it's supposed to be. And then I think the last one might be Salvage or Wreckage or whatever the rescue bot guy is. Salvage, I think, is his name. Really weird. I don't get it. We talked about MPG with the next train bot. Well, speaking of MP, we also saw the Cliff Jumper compared to the MP45 Bumblebee. It's obviously a reuse with some reworking, especially of the torso. I feel like the car mode of the upcoming Cliff Jumper is pretty strong. I think it looks, like that Penny Racer Cliff Jumper. It looks pretty ideal. I'm not digging the robot mode, especially that upper chest. I feel like it's out too far. You can see the rivet on either side. It's just, I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, and then like the backpack on both of them has a lot of junk. I look at it and I'm like, just looking at this, it doesn't look perfect. Like, if I had to look at it and give it like a score for being a rendition of the intended characters, 7.5, they're far from perfect. Far from perfect. Not the way I remember them on the screen, honestly. If you do, cool. Not for me. But I tell you what I do think is neat, even though it's only being offered in Japan. I hate when a country only offers something in one country. But if you buy all 3 of the new MP Seekers, I'm not doing it, but you might. And if you live in Japan, if you send in your proof of purchase to Takara Tomy, they will send you a coronation set to go with that Starscream. Word is, right now it's a Japanese-only offering. Will it come out in North America? Who knows? But I bet you if Hasbro does it, you won't get it free by sending in a proof of purchase. You'll probably have to buy it as some sort of Hasbro Pulse exclusive pack. That sounds like exactly what they would do. Just saying. It does look good, though. Like, the cape is hard plastic, but it looks kind of dynamic. The crown is the crown. The shoulder pieces are the shoulder pieces and stuff. It looks good. Magic Square showed off their Light of Justice 2.0 Optimus Prime. I saw this on T-Formers. Looks great. I mean, really idyllic Optimus Prime in every way, shape, or form that you could want. I think Magic Square, like when I look at that from Magic Square and I look at the New Age Optimus, I'm like, the New Age Optimus isn't even in the same ballpark. New Age is great, but it's not even in the same ballpark for the Legends offering that Magic Square is giving out. Make of that what you will, I suppose. And then we have, hold on. Oh, we also saw some in-hand images of Buzzsaw, which is a reuse of the Kingdom Waspinator mold. Cool, I guess. I didn't get the Waspinator. Everybody says it's good. I'm not getting the Waspinator because I don't think the Waspinator looks that great, to be honest with you, unless I wanted an animated version. I've said that before. But I could see getting the Buzzsaw. I could see getting that use of it. It depends on how easy or hard it is, because I've heard that it'll be selects and pretty easy. I also heard it's going to be part of a multi-pack. If that's the case, I'm not getting a multi-pack for a Buzzsaw. Not happening. But if it comes up by itself, yeah, maybe. Why not? Why not? And then that brings us to our last thing, which is going to be the Hasbro Shakeup. I'm going to check in with you guys, though, before we talk about that Shakeup just a little bit and then get out of here, because we've been on here a while now. Let's see. Let's go up here just a bit. As we go down here a bit. Not sure how far down I gotta go. I might have went up too far. Waiting for Chicago. Great show. Thank you so much for this. Warren had to take off. Take care, buddy. I felt like I paid $50 for the what? I felt like I paid $50 for the barricade, but it was the price for shipping. I won $30. Oh, shipping, right? Shipping. Where the rubber part of the wing meets the plastic part is. Oh, really? That's too bad. That's too bad, Dragonfly. So his rubber part of the wing is starting to crack or whatever on his mind wipe. That's too bad. That's rough. I only want the Shattered Glass version. I can't wait for the TFCon Chicago. It'll be my first one and only an hour away. Congratulations, I guess. If you lived in LA, you'd break the wallet. Plus, one of my friends used to live in the Windy City. Chicago. A lot of guys talking about Chicago. I live in Northwest Indiana. If you live in Shy and want a Shattered Glass Megatron or Goldbug, go to Toy du Jour. I mean, the dude gets killed. What? Does anyone guess Cliff will be repainted as Animated Wasp? Maybe. Could. Actually, we had two things left. This one is a weird one, but I'm going to point it out. This one kind of comes from Input and Transaran, and it concerns this guy. This is the G2 Sandstorm. Apparently, there's a QC issue that's starting to happen with this guy, notably around the hands and the knees, where he is yellowing. Evidently, it has not happened to mine, and I'm unclear if it's the plastic itself or if it's the paint. Mine is pretty packed away behind a lot of my Seekers, so he's pretty protected from the elements and sunlight and whatnot. Apparently, Transaran's was still in box, and it happened. So I don't know. It hasn't happened with mine, is all that I know. I'm just going to check because I actually asked Input about it before we came on the air, and I just want to see. Oh wow. It's the plastic. And Input actually sent me a picture. That's wild. Okay, so the picture he sent me, that's really wild. Okay, so the picture he sent me is, it looks like the actual knee hinge. And if you look at the arm, everything from the elbow down, so the entire forearm and hand, all yellowed. Check your G2 Sandstorms. It has not happened with mine. It hasn't even started to happen with mine that I can see. No, man, it hasn't happened to mine, but that's undeniable. What Input had there is undeniable. Okay. Check. Mine's okay. Yeah, so is mine. Right? Check your sandstorms. Okay, so the last thing is the shakeup at Hasbro. And we have learned that the new CEO is going to be Chris Cox. He is stepping in there. Eric Nyman, who spoke recently about Hasbro stuff, he will be the president and the COO, Chief Operating Officer. Why is that significant? It's significant because Eric Nyman is going to be the guy responsible for Hasbro Pulse. He's going to be the guy responsible for supply chain. He's going to be the guy responsible for licensing and the guy responsible for finding Transformers partnerships, like that running club, for example. Eric Nyman is going to be a very strong shaping force going forward. I think the way Pulse has been run is a failure. I think it's a disgrace that it singles out so many fans. I hope he improves it or abandons it because you're a retailer. Because you're the manufacturer. Or if you're going to keep it going, you offered factory direct pricing. Partnerships and licensing, cool. Supply chain, major issues. I'm going to tell you now, there's a lot of fans in Canada still waiting on their coneheads that never, ever materialized. Fix it, Eric Nyman. Fix it. And the interim CEO, Rich, I think it's Rich, Stoddard, is going to now be the new chair of the board. But the outgoing chair of the board, Tracy Lineback, spoke, and she was talking about how having Mr. Cox now as the CEO will be something that will be beneficial for the company going forward and growth and for its, how is it she put it? And for returns to shareholders. And I read the words returns to shareholders and I thought to myself, yep, there's the problem. There's the problem. No, not returns to shareholders. What you need to do is focus on pleasing fans. You want returns to shareholders, you need to focus on the fans. And when you do something like try and sell a deluxe for Voyager and you get back that, hey, that's okay from a minority of fans, because now the prices in Canada are going up. The rumor is that before too long, it will be $40 for deluxe. And a lot of people are saying they're tapping out now at the end of Kingdom. I fear for the longevity of the brand that we love. The reason I so much go against some of these poor business decisions and focusing on investors and shareholders over fans is because when you do so, eventually that math is going to catch up to you and people are going to tap out. And the more fans do that, then the more difficult it is going to be to keep the franchise going. And we'll be in like a downward spiral. We've done it before. We've had lulls before. And they had an opportunity here to not go in another lull. And I feel like that's where they're going to go because of poor business decisions. How many times have they tried to reinvigorate G.I. Joe? And even now, people that have been excited by the classified line are looking at some of the more recent offerings and saying, hey, I'm seeing a lot of reused parts and stuff. So I hope they don't do that a lot. Firefly got panned pretty bad. I don't know. I'm not in for the classified line. But the Firefly got panned pretty bad because a lot of people said except for the head, there's no new parts here. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. You got to keep the fans happy. You want a return for your shareholders? Keep the fans happy. Grow the brand. Do right by the fans, and the fans will do right by you. That's the best business that I can think of. Keep fans happy. You keep shareholders happy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We are done here. There was a whole lot to cover. Feels weird not having an unboxing, doesn't it? Happy New Year to one and all. I hope that 2022 gives you every dream that you dream. I look forward to, of course, the next time that you and I get together. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either right here in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way, baby. You guessed it, inside the videos.